So, big upgrades, guys. Big upgrades. The design of the Z Fold 3 remains the same as last year's Z Fold 2, with similar size as the outer display comes at 6.2 inches with the inner unfolded display at 7.6 inches. Both have AMOLED displays, but this time around we have a 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate on both the cover and the inner display, so smoothness is comparative to other flagships. The outer display though is being protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, the strongest glass on a smartphone ever. That's it. Durability has been up by 10% with what they call armor aluminum. That and the seals in the phone has earned it an IP rating. This is something we've all been expecting, right? The Z Fold 3 is IPX8 rated for water resistance, so that is at the depth of 1.5 meters, which is about 5 feet, for 30 minutes. The Z Fold 3 comes in colors such as Phantom Silver, Phantom Green, and my personal favorite, Phantom Black. I just love a good old black. The matte finish at the back just gets me all the time. There's a side-mounted fingerprint scanner that doubles as the power button, a USB Type-C port, and stereo speakers at the bottom. Opening, or better put, unfolding the device, we are greeted with a big screen with no visible camera. Emphasis on visible. The camera under the display is not supposed to interfere with the viewing panel. You know, simply put, there is a camera under the display that is supposed to be hidden, not invisible, hidden. So if you can see it at certain angles, certain lighting conditions, yes, it's there. But why are you looking for it though? It does its job of not being there all the time. So if I see it once in a while, it's normal. I'm used to seeing cameras on my display than not seeing them. The brain behind the Z Fold 3 is the Snapdragon 888 processor, the latest and most powerful Android processor. It comes with Android 11, One UI 3, and 12 gigs of RAM coupled with 256 or 512 gigs of storage. The large screen on the Z Fold 3 allows you to do a lot, like literally a lot with that real estate you get. Like opening up to 3 apps at once. I mean, multitasking has just been redefined. There's just a lot you can do with so much space, and with S Pen support, which is one of the biggest expectations of the Z Fold 3, interesting just got a lot more interesting. And having tried the S Pen myself, you just can't get any smoother. The nib of the pen bounces back in when you apply so much pressure on the display, because as you know, it's a plastic display and you wouldn't want to be poking it, but that display just dares you to poke it. It just dares, like, just poke it. Poke me and see. The S Pen just makes taking notes so much easier, and using flex mode, which is when you bend the phone at the hinge to like a 90 degrees angle, and you have, like, say, a video conference call going on the top screen. You can have notes. You can be taking notes at the bottom, and you know, I mean, that just converts it into text. So you have your very own e-book and e-pen, if you will. You can also write emails with it. Do basically what you do with an S Pen. But now let's, enough with the S Pen. Let's move on to the cameras. There's 5 cameras in all, and just as a reference, the first generation Z Fold, or Z Fold 2019, or Z Fold 1, or Z Fold, however it is you want to call it, that had 6 cameras, 3 at the back, 2 on the inside, and 1 on the cover. So as a selfie, 2 selfie on the inside, 1 on the cover, and 3 at the back. The next generation, that was last year, the Z Fold 2, came with 5 cameras, 3 at the back. They took 1 out from the inside, so we had just a hole punch on the inside and 1 on the cover as a selfie. This time around, we have the same setup with some slight changes. The changes are upgrades, and as Samsung says, the cameras have been AI improved to make them much better. And then there is the 4 megapixel selfie camera on the inside, the under display camera. Other than that, everything remains pretty much the same. So on the outside, or on the rear, the back of the phone, there is 3 cameras, 12 megapixels, all of them. A 12 megapixel main lens with OIS, optical image stabilization, to stabilize those shaky shots. A 12 megapixel telephoto with 2x optical zoom, also with OIS. to stabilize those long shots, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. All these shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. On the cover, there is a 10 megapixel selfie camera that shoots 4K at 30 frames per second, and the 4 megapixel lens on the inside also shoots 4K at 30 frames per second. The cameras are okay per the tests I made, although I didn't have the phone for long. The inner camera though did look a little bit noisy and darker, but I'd say it's due to the situation, at the dark situation I was in, a low light situation at the launch event, because I have seen much better and really impressive shots from that camera online. When using the camera, you can see it becomes visible, but when you're not using it, it enters ninja mode and goes dark. By dark, I mean it goes invisible, if you didn't understand that. When taking a picture or video of someone, you can allow the cover display act as the preview screen for the person to see themselves and possibly frame themselves and adjust themselves to their fit or their preference before you take the shot. And with that being said, the back or rear cameras can also double as a selfie camera if you are willing to use that or get that quality crisp images using the rear cameras for your selfie. So that cover display then acts as a viewfinder. In that situation, you have to open up the phone, but a lot of people actually do this, and it's very comfortable with them doing this. The power is provided by 4400 mAh battery with 25 watt fast wired charging. Is 11 watts fast wireless charging, and also reverse wireless charging to power up your Buds 2 or the Watch 4, for example. The price starts at $1,800, and here in Ghana, the 256 gig version is going to start at 11,000 cities, with the 512 gig version starting at 12,000 cities. Finally, the Z Fold 3 can not only act as your smartphone or a tablet, it can also act as your very own desktop with Samsung DeX. With DeX, you can connect the Z Fold 3 to a smart monitor or TV wirelessly to get that desktop experience. And you can also use the Z for the phone as a trackpad. It's good to see that Samsung improved on features like the durability of the body, the hinge, and even the display, and also pushing to give it an IP rating. The price also being reduced slightly is also a very positive thing, and is going to make the device, the Z Fold 3, embraced by a lot more people, including people from other ecosystems. Apple,